Let me give you a quick update on our silvopasture. If you've been following our channel very long, then you know that we're building up some silvopasture over here for our cattle. We have 7 head of Irish Dexter cattle. This is paddock 1 behind me. What you see closest to me is outside of the paddock. I started here because I want you to see back behind all of this green stuff in this area right here in paddock 1. So we cleaned a lot of this area back here up. We cut some trees. There's a lot of light coming in now where there wasn't before. And then we've also been putting the hay that we fed them in different locations. We were putting it on the ground and they would just eat it until it was all gone, but now we have a hay cradle. I'll show you in just a minute or two, and we put it in different locations every single time, so the seeds from the hay will come down on the ground and then it'll seed it a bit, then their manure and then tromping around and stomping in it and stuff like that, and then letting a lot more sun in will create some grass growing in here. And as you can see, it's growing a whole lot better back there. I might get you a close up here in a minute, but then I have to cross this barbed wire fence and I have to go all the way over there to do that. You know, it's definitely growing a lot of stuff, and we've had them out of this paddock for maybe a month now into paddock 2, and I also opened up paddock 3. So paddock 3 is up in a hill where it's kind of hard to get to the tractor to, so we can't give them hay, and we like to give them hay all the time, have hay in front of them. Since we can't get up there, I just opened it up for them. Plus they were getting out a little bit and I wanted to give them an area that had a little bit more green. So here's a little closer view of it. You can see some of the grass growing here. There's also some work that Papa did on the with the backhoe. He was trying to dig them a pond up here so we wouldn't have to water them through the winter as much. But again, as you can see, it's growing really well back here, and it needs a lot of work. I'm not going to cut any more trees out of there this year. I may cut some more trees out of here eventually, maybe not up here right here, but there is a way back further. We've got 3 5-acre paddocks that we rotate them in, and this is where we kept them all winter here in paddock 1. Let me show you over here in paddock 1. The reason I'm going to show you is because the difference. I want you to notice the difference here where it's got all the sunlight in. It is a cloudy day, but it's got all of this open area where we can get some sunlight in here to grow the grass versus where we're going now. So this is paddock 3 where they are now, and I've been cutting some back here. I don't want to cut over here in paddock 1 again this year because I'm going to be working this year in paddock 1 to get all that stuff that we've cut that's been sitting there since last year. So it's seasoned, it's dry, it's not greenwood. We can pull that out of here, I can stack it, and I can use that to heat my house this next winter. And then next year, I can pull all the wood that I cut from this area, heat in the winter of 2022 and 2023. Pull that out from over there this year, and then pull this out from over here next year after all this stuff that I've cut this year has sat for a while, and let it season and dry out a bit. But it doesn't have as much sun through here. I don't know how well you can tell. Obviously, it don't have a whole lot of green on the ground because the cattle have been in here eating this down, but I've got a lot more trees to cut. I'll be cutting a whole lot more trees this spring and summer in order to let some of this light in, and the cattle love to eat the leaves off of trees. So we just put this bale of hay in here in this hay cradle, and they're eating off of it. They were all out, and they weren't really all out because right back here you can see these other cattle that are eating what was on the ground from the last one. I move this hay cradle every time that I've got the hay, so it doesn't just leave it all in the same spot. It stays in the hay cradle, it doesn't get on the ground and get wet. There is still some waste, and that waste on the ground ends up fertilizing the ground and seeding the ground. Next year where this hay is, there'll be grass growing here as well. You might also see way back here in the background a lot of trees that are down. That's in paddock 1. We're hoping to clean that up this year. We've got a wood chipper that fits on the tractor, and I'll show you that as soon as we get it unboxed. And we're going to cut all the limbs off of these, and we're going to chip all that, and then we're going to bring the logs for firewood up close to the house so we can have that ready for this winter. We're going to get working on that really soon. It's been really moist spring here in western Kentucky, so I haven't had a chance to do much of that. But that is over there versus, and I'm going to turn the camera just almost exactly 180 degrees, versus over here. There's not as much sunlight coming in. There's a lot of scrub trees back here that we don't really want. A lot of maples, a lot of little hickories, a lot of elms and birch and things like that. I'll be coming through here this summer and cutting a lot of this stuff, and the cattle love it. I might get some footage of me doing that here in just a minute. As soon as I cut that down, they go right after the green leaves on it. But this is us building up this silvopasture. I love the wooded area. I love the woods. I think it's great, but the way we had it, I couldn't really go through it without hitting all sorts of spider webs and getting caught in underbrush and having all sorts of ticks on me. Whenever we get done with this, there's going to be all sorts of green grass, and the cattle are going to keep eating that down, and we're going to have to use less hay. Before today, the last time we put hay in here was about 12 days ago, and the time before that it was like, I don't know, been almost 3 weeks. Anyway, I wanted to give you an update on this Silvopasture. It is going really well, but it is a slow process, so it takes some time for us to do that. I think it'll probably be at least 3 or 4 or 5 years till we get this done the way that we want it done, and even then it's going to have some maintenance because there'll be some trees that fall, there'll be some trees that need cutting, but the cattle are doing a really great job in here, and I'm really glad for them. We thought about getting rid of the cattle because they were getting out. There is some expense with the hay and things like that at this point, but ultimately I don't think we're going to be using nearly as much hay, so if we can hold out a little while, then we can build up the herd a little bit. About 15 acres of silvopasture will be perfect for them. They'll be able to have plenty of food from that. So look at him over here. The one over there, the smaller one is the steer, and this other one is Coco. That smaller one is a steer named Toast. Yeah, that's Cinnamon's baby, Toast. And then the one closest to us right there, the brown one closest to us, is the one that was born about a little over a year ago, Easter of 2020, and her name's Coco. And then this black one right here, this is Cream. That's Cookie's steer. They're not super friendly. They don't really let me pet them or anything. I wish they would. Somebody told me to feed them animal crackers every time I see them, but they don't get really close enough. The bull is the friendliest. Let me turn you around one more time and show you that. So this is the bull right here. This is Junior. Hey, June baby. He normally lets me rub him a little bit more. This is Pumpkin right here, and you can't see Cinnamon because she just came over toward the camera. And this is Cookies. She's not very friendly either. They're not mean cattle. They're not mean, but they're just not very friendly. This bull over here is the best, and he don't really like me. He don't want me petting him right now, apparently. Anyway, I want to give you an update on this. I really enjoy our cattle. They do take a little bit of work, and building up the silvopasture is taking some work as well. But you know, that's the way it is. You know, Rome wasn't built in a day, right? If you like things like this, like and subscribe, hit that notification bell, select all so you never miss a notification. We do a new video every Tuesday, Thursday, and Saturday. I try to upload at noon Central Time on those days, so we'd love to have you share it with others. That's the very best thing you can do for us. But if you want to help us financially, that's another thing you can do. There are ways down below in the description box. If you want to help us, all that goes to making more content for you. We really appreciate things like that. We really appreciate your support and your encouragement as well. Thanks.